A little background before we get started, a little bit about myself. I'm David Lee, and I'm the founder of Design Source Media, which is a web and marketing, web design development agency. And I'm also the founder of DSM Talent, where we help agencies and businesses find talent in the Philippines, staff talent in the Philippines. I've been running my agency for over 14 years now. Currently, I'm managing, and I'm a husband and father of 4 young kids. So the 4 moves here, what the layoff headline actually say, the one thing that changed about the roles, and then my current org chart, what basically the humans still own, and the 9 seats and what really rung up the costs. So same budget. So let's look at it this way. Actually, let me a second here. So let's look at it this way. 90 days. You have 90 days to onboard. Just like Michael has mentioned, he brought in 2 setters. All right. So in the next 90 days, what does that look like? Owner A hires someone to make the stuff, in this case, do the appointment setting, right? But after 90 days, chances are, if you're training, you're onboarding, and you're not doing it, if you're not doing it correctly, you may have to end up redoing it at midnight. That's kind of like the typical scenario of an agency owner. They hire someone quickly because there's a need for it, and the onboarding isn't clear. They're having them do it, and next thing you know, 90 days later, it's rinse and repeat. They're not a good fit. They let them go, or they're still doing half the work. And they're scratching their head like, hey, why am I paying this person? It's not even about so much the money. It's like, I'm spending my energy, my time, where I'm supposed to be delegating all of this. That's why I hired this person, right? So that's one scenario of owner A. The other, owner B, is that they're hiring someone to direct and check stuff. So by 90 days later, they're getting their Fridays back, right? And so we'll cover the two scenario in a little more detail of like, what is the big difference here? And hiring didn't disappear. It essentially moved up. So we'll look at some data here. So one is from Fred, or the labor statistics. There's basically a huge spike around COVID with these are charts of layoffs and discharges, obviously, and then pretty much it has stabilized. And then this other one, US job cuts by month. So you can kind of see these stats here. It spiked during COVID, it stabilized, and then there's the Doge storyline. So there's this huge cut there. And then again, it is pretty much really overall stabilizing. So the headlines say, oh yeah, layoffs, AI layoffs. That's one scenario, but you want to look at overall work and job growth. The cuts aren't that crazy. It's still higher than during COVID, but it's not like spiking up. So now this chart is looking at AI impact and the job growth and how much the type of roles have changed. So this is data from Indeed, and you want to look at a few things. So the further you are to the right side is how much AI could impact these roles. All right. So one extreme is software development, right? Kind of obvious. And then the other extreme is like nursing and childcare. AI is not going to help nursing and childcare that much compared to software development. And then on the left, on the basically y-axis, is change in job postings. So how much posting has changed, and then the overall share of all the postings in comparison. Okay. So you can see here, this is compared to 12 months ago. So we're talking May of 2026 compared to May of 2025. So this is only 12 months. We're in August now. So it's a few months off. Data's a few months old, but still we're looking at a year difference. And only in a year difference, you can see how much is that there's actually an increase in job postings for typical roles that you would think, oh, AI should replace software development, or AI should replace marketing or IT or banking finance. It didn't. As a matter of fact, there's more job postings for it. And we'll see why that is the case. Okay. AI really didn't kill the job, but it killed the junior version of it. right? So you may have heard on the news or seen the headlines like, oh, hey, people aren't hiring juniors anymore. They're only hiring seniors because for AI is really can fill the junior roles, but you still need the strategic thinkers. You still need someone to run and manage the operations, making sure AI is not hallucinating and going haywire, going rogue on you. So you need that human interaction. And of course, as Michael and I has mentioned earlier, there's that humans still like to talk to humans. So the floor move, here's receipt, 35% seniorized entry levels since 2019. All the other entry roles have gone down by 10%, right? 7 times more likely to need senior level skills, right? So this is where humans keep the judgment, roles grow 2 times faster. So here's an example of my org. President, VP of operations. I have an admin team, a talent team, the web team, and web team split into production and support, and then my whole marketing and sales team right here. Okay. 18 people, 5 recruitment HR seats, 2 CSM leads, 1 QA developer, 2 interns, each reporting to a reviewer. So these are a list of tasks that used to take, it could take days, even a week to complete. But now for the first pass, it may take only a few minutes, right? So what we're doing now is implementing AI in a lot of these tasks. So you can see the list here. First pass drafts, cut downs, transcripts. The first pass, let AI do that. Data entry, list building, CRM cleanup, AI does all that. Inbox triage, scheduling, meeting notes, AI does that. Template graphics, basic reporting, dashboard assembly, the initial first pass, again, AI handles all that. And then don't issue tickets, password resets, the really common questions, or even the more advanced complex ones. We're starting to have AI tackle it, basically run in a separate sandbox to simulate like, hey, does this fix the issue? And if it does, a human then confirms it and then applies the actual fix. So again, first pass, AI. So these are the roles that we're going to still keep hiring ourselves, and agencies have continued to hire, and other businesses too. Like, for example, executive assistant, video editors, social media manager, CSMs, digital marketing specialist, graphic designer, web developer. And the only difference is that we're paying more for more senior rates. We're not hiring juniors, we're hiring more associates, and then also senior level talent. And we don't expect, and we can't expect the individuals to be an expert in AI. That's something that we would train internally. There was a funny news article. I'll try to pull it up here. Let's see. It was a job post. It just came in. Let's see. Yeah, Cloud Code. So Yahoo posted this. Let's see. 10 years. Try to find that. I guess it was there. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it is a fake posting, but Yahoo was posting a senior software developer with 10 plus years of experience of Cloud Code. Cloud Code has not even been around for more than 2 years. And the original creator of Cloud Code has been working in this internally, privately for only 9 years. So you don't want to make a job posting like that, because that means you're definitely out of touch with what's going on. So in general, what we do is we try to bring on more senior roles, and we're not worried about how it's nice that they have experience in AI, but if they don't have a lot, but they're most importantly, they're comfortable and they want to learn and they don't mind learning new things, they're not kind of stuck in their old ways, then we have no problems. We gladly will teach the individual how to use AI. And the key piece is because they're experienced, they know how to make the senior judgment calls in their particular role. They can then manage and delegate and work with their AI system. So we audited a bunch of our own tools, and we pretty much did the same thing. Xero, Figma, Go High Level, and Slack. For example, actual management still requires a person to push buttons. For some of our tools like Smart Suite, which is similar to Airtable, Sprout HR system, WordPress, Main WP is one of our monitoring tools. We still have a human double check things like payroll, right? So that's medium level. And then every medium tool still needs a basic check. So again, AI does the first pass, first draft, routine execution. And then a human makes the call, checks the work, owns the standard. That's something you want to think about. So in Michael, your scenario, like you have the appointment setters. Okay, great. You want to think about all of the things that you can have AI do to make your appointment setter's life much easier. Okay. So I don't know if you have your appointment setters do the manual work of looking through the leads, looking through the opportunities, and say, all right, before I make this phone call or before I send out this email, before I do this outreach, that this is the right number, this is the right person, this is the best time of the day to contact them, right? Oh yeah, sorry, Michael, you're muted.
Sorry, more or less. Yeah, we're everything's run through Go High Level, so they're looking at Go High Level and writing notes there, and then their scripts are written by AI.
Yeah,
Is
okay,
that what you're
okay.
saying?
And then yeah, so are the scripts uniquely tailored for each individual?
Yeah, we know from the lead meta lead forms what their issue is. So whenever there's an objection or a specific issue they're having, we have verbiage for that as well.
Okay. And are the calls recorded?
Yeah, they're all recorded in Go High Level.
Okay. Okay, good. So then do you do anything with the transcripts?
No, I haven't yet, but I have an idea to start taking the transcripts and literally making content, making graphic posts. So I could SMS them some ideas. If they say I have low energy, I'll take
Mhm.
that transcript, have ChatGPT make a graphic, and then send that to them.
Yeah. So one thing, just an idea, you could
Yeah,
take the transcripts and basically you want analytics, right? You want the data.
right.
You rather than having someone sit on the call and listen to every single call like a call center, you basically have AI process it and say, all right, this one appointment setter made 55 calls today and they made hundreds of calls this week or this month. What are the trends? For this particular client that we're trying to set up appointments for. And so AI is really good with that.
Which AI
Humans,
would you use, Dave?
I would test it out first. What I would do is it can get very expensive. I would not use the flagship models. Number one, do not use Fable 5. Do not use like
Oh,
Codex Soul. Okay. I
right.
would probably use the middle of the tier. And so we're talking Terra or Opus. And then I would see if I could even, after running it for a bit, like maybe a week or two, processing the data, I would see if I can go down to a lower level LLM. So basically, the dumber models, I'm going to put air quotes, dumber models, they're not really that dumb. Really, more of LLMs, AI is a combination of the LLM, it's like the brain of it, and then your harness. So basically, your harness being your skill to MD file, and how you're asking the AI, it's basically your instructions to someone. Okay. So imagine this, right? You have two people. One person is a fresh grad from a top university. Another one is someone that has 10 years of experience. So these two people are not necessarily, one is smarter than the other. One just has way more experience and they can pretty much connect the dots much easier because they have 10 years of experience. But the person that's coming out of that top university, they're pretty smart, right? They survived that, right? They came out of Stanford, they came out of Harvard, right? So, but the difference is that person, you need very clear guidelines. So that's the harness, right? You need to explain to this person, like, hey, this is how our environment's set up. This is what we need. This is the output I'm expecting. This is how I want you to process it, right? There's more steps. So that's why I usually use a smarter model like the person with the 10 years of experience. Once I have that, have them build that harness, build that connection, build the skill files, and then you can start letting the dumber models utilize that. So you're not spending 20 on per million tokens and you're spending like $1. for a million tokens. Make sense? So
Yep.
I know I'm like getting into the weeds now, but you asked for which model. I would start with the smarter model to run, but just I would not plan to run it indefinitely, right? Your goal is to use the cheaper models.
Oh yeah, I was actually thinking Claude or ChatGPT, but right now I've gone from ChatGPT to Claude and now back to ChatGPT, and now some people I know are saying even for writing, Claude used to be the king and now it's Chat.
Yeah, it's slightly different. You definitely want to try both
Mm.
when because there's new models coming out all the time, right? Opus 5 just came out. So Fable 5 and the Codex Soul are the top two duking out. And then there's the Chinese models or the other open source models too. And even Meta is coming out with their own models. So, so you got to play around with it. That's one of the fun things, but also challenging things is like, hey, what should I stick with? But in general, don't aim for perfection here. Aim for, because you're trying to get analytical data, 80% is good enough, right? Getting analytical data is better than no analytical data, right? So you want to have something.
Makes sense.
So, so for us, inbox tool mistagged it. I tagged it wrong, built the rule to tighten it, and the final human check. This is very important. Okay. Don't just let AI just do its thing. This is why you want the humans to check it and then keep updating the rules. It's almost like updating your SOPs, right? You run the SOPs every single day, every single week, and you realize, wait a minute, how come I'm not getting that output? What is wrong, right? You don't just tell the person that's running the SOPs, hey, I want you to do better. I want you to go and fix it. I'm like, okay, what are we fixing exactly? So actually go into the SOPs and say, all right, it's step 6. We need to make adjustments here. The new modern day SOP is your skills.md file. So in AI, you're updating the AI skill. And who's updating the AI skill? Hopefully not you. It's the new hire that you brought in, right? Your appointment setters. They're the ones that's managing that. See ya, Michael. So this is what our job description JDE has looked like. 2016 looks like this. Coordination first, but this week the AI first operator. So this one, coordinate the executive calendar. Nope. We're going to focus on outcomes, prepare the CEO's day, priorities, and follow through. Draft routine correspondence. Nope. Let AI draft the first pass and own the final call. The old way is book travel and submit expenses, know what to decide, what to flag, and what to escalate. And then support projects as assigned, name stack, Google Workspace, Slack, Suite, ERP Next, whatever system they're using, and really have AI help you first. And then keep the office moving, your judgment, surface risks, improve the process, and keep the standards intact. So based on the ACTA's 2016 executive assistant posting, so this is basically an actual real posting, and this is adopted and supplied with our AI first blueprint and executive assistant application form. So this is kind of how we complete. We basically have updated our job descriptions now when we're looking for an executive assistant. But you might say, hey, I can't afford to hire a senior. It's really, when we're hiring someone in the Philippines, it's under 2,000 a month for most senior roles. And so you want to take a look. Let's say your revenue, it's 10,000 a month. So that's what, 120,000. You're currently at, let's say, so look at it this way. Each person is 60,000 a month. Rather than looking at the annual revenue, this number, think of it this way. You pay yourself first, right? So let's say you're paying yourself 80,000 and where did it go here? You're paying yourself 80,000 and you have another 40,000. Okay. And then so your head count, and so you're by yourself. If you want to hire 2 more people, we're looking at $20,000 per month, right? And it's definitely still under per person, still under the 2,000 a month. So I definitely would hire people in a more senior role and have them use their senior knowledge, apply it to AI, start building your AI infrastructure and AI system to help you and scale your operations. Okay. And the nice thing is, as as, let's say, if people leave or they go on vacation, you hire more people to help out. Now there's a system that's supported by AI, but run by humans already in place. So adding more people, switching out people, having people in now different roles is easier than ever before. So there you have it. Thank you for watching and listening in. And let me know if you have any questions. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm glad, Aline. I'm glad it's been helpful. And if no other questions, then we can just wrap up. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you next week. All right, take care. Bye.